Hello, today's problem is we have a fermenter that is empty, and we're going to remedy that by making another batch of wine. We're going to do a box kit wine, so it basically comes with everything you need. The only thing that you'll add is you'll have to add some water. Because they concentrate the grape juice that comes in the kit just so it's cheaper to ship and that type of stuff. So basically after you rehydrate it with extra water, it brings it back to full strength and you move on from there. But what I'm going to do is go through the kit. We're going to go through the steps. It's a 4-week process. We're going to do something today. We're going to wait 2 weeks. We're going to do some more steps. We're going to wait 2 more weeks, and then we're going to bottle this wine. So let's go through the kit. I'm going to show you what comes in the kit. I'm going to show you how kind of easy this is. This kit is made by Grand Cru, and this is a Pinot Grigio. It comes with a bladder of the concentrated juice. And again, this kit is going to make, it's ultimately going to make 6 gallons of wine. That's between 30 and 34 bottles if you do the 750 milliliter bottles. So this will be quite a lot of wine. Came with the juice, comes with some ingredients that you put in. We'll go through those as we add them. Comes with the specific yeast that's needed to make this specific flavor of wine. It actually then came with some, I believe these are going to be little pieces of wood to give it an oaky flavor to something like that. If there's a place where we add that. And it comes with instructions. So we'll be following these instructions, doing phase 1, which is this first piece of the week. Let's take a brief look at the equipment we're going to use for this phase. We've got a primary fermenting bucket. This is a food grade plastic bucket. It's been sanitized. It's 6 gallons. There's a mark on the inside. It shows where 6 gallons is. Otherwise, it's got some markings on the side. Tells you if you're doing something different. We're going to use a 6 gallon mark. I've got a stir stick. This could be anything. All this has been sanitized. This is a vessel that we'll put in the juice so we can take a specific gravity reading. That'll tell us how much sugar is in the solution, and that'll give us basically our potential alcohol, how much alcohol will we be doing. This is called a wine thief. This is actually, we'll dip this down in the juice and be able to pull the juice out and put it in this vessel. And this is called a hydrometer. The hydrometer is going to actually give us that reading of specific gravity. So we'll be using all these pieces. We've sanitized all that, so we're ready to go. We're about ready to add juice and water. Okay, our first step is going to be we're going to add a gallon. It says 4 liters. This is just shy of 4 liters. 4 liters of, or a gallon of purified water. I use either purified water or spring water. You don't want to use tap water because the chlorine in it will affect the yeast, and it's got way too many minerals in it. You don't want to use distilled water because it doesn't have any minerals in it, and the yeast actually kind of needs that minerals to do its job. So we're going to put in 1 gallon here to get it started. There's that. And then I'm going to add, they provide a packet of bentonite. And bentonite is a type of a clay, and it's in the juice, and it's going to help with the clarification of the wine. Okay, so I'm going to get this, start stirring as I add. You'll see that it's chunks of clay. Give that a stir for about a minute and really put this on. Okay, so there's the concentrate, and now we're going to rehydrate it up to a line that's in this bucket. And the very first thing I'm going to do is actually add water to this bag. We want to get the rest of that juice out of there. Don't want to let any of this go to waste. Next, we're going to add water up to this 6-gallon line. We just start with 6 gallons worth of. Okay, so I'm going to say that I had to add 3.5 gallons of water to bring it up to 6 gallons. That means there's 2.5 gallons of juice. Alright, next we want to take a specific gravity reading of this, the starting of our batch, and that'll tell us, again, the potential alcohol for this batch. So this is the vessel we're going to collect it in. Here's how I'm going to seal it. It's all sanitized. Put the wine thief down in there, close the lid, it based like a straw. It holds. Okay, so our initial specific gravity reading is 1.080, and the instructions say that you want it between 1.074 and 1.090, so we're like right in the middle of that. So we're going to record that number, and also I'm just going to take this back out and look at it, and this is going to tell us it's going to be 10.5, it'll finish out about 10.5% alcohol, which is just a great little table wine. Alright, next I'm going to go ahead and put this juice back in here. We don't want to waste that. And it's time to add our yeast. This particularly uses a Lavalin EC 1118 yeast. Make sure it's not at the top. Turn this off. And there's different ways to pitch your yeast. Sometimes you hydrate it first in a glass or bottle. This says just to sprinkle it lightly across the top, let it spread out, and do not stir it in. So it'll slowly activate and rehydrate, activate, and start multiplying.
Can you take this out?
Yeah.
Oh, there's yeast all over.
Alright, so with the yeast now sitting there, we're going to put our sanitized lid on. And actually, I guess I'll pop that down. The yeast is going to start multiplying and creating basically alcohol and carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide needs to escape. I'm going to take this and I'm going to move this into a place where it can sit now. It's going to sit for 2 weeks, and the yeast is going to multiply from 1,000 strains of yeast to millions of strains of yeast, and start creating the alcohol. We'll take a look at it in a couple days just to make sure that it's bubbling pretty good and show you that. Alright, let's take a look at what's happening. Today is day 4 of the process, and the yeast is extremely active. It's multiplied a whole bunch. It's currently consuming the sugars of the juice, turning that into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide will float to the top and then bust. The little bubbles will break and create a gas on top of the very top of the wine, and then it'll escape through this airlock. So you can see the activity. I'll be quiet for a second. You'll be able to hear all the bubbles creating. There's the bubbles, and then it actually escapes out the very top here. It's kind of open, and the aroma coming off that is just fabulous. But we got a lot of good activity, and let me open it up and I'll show you what's going on inside. Alright, now we take a look inside. We can see the carbon dioxide is rising to the top surface, then little bubbles are popping. That's creating that layer of carbon dioxide gas. The other thing you'll notice is that bag of oak chips. On day 1, at the very end of the day, I was reading back through the instructions and realized that they wanted me to add that then. What we did is put a half cup of warm water in a jar, soaked those chips in the warm water for about 10 minutes, then added the chips and the warm water because it had some of the leached juices off those chips went into the water. But anyway, added all that into this. So that's been soaking now for 4 days as well. Anyway, it's looking pretty good.